So then we think that cavitation is a mysterious phenomenon that requires us to rebuild the pumps and change bearings and change seals. Really, we've just got to get more energy into the pump, or we have another option. If we could reduce the energy output to equal the energy coming in, that's another option. So I'm going to make the pump go into cavitation. This is a valve. I'm just going to step on this pipe right here, put a pinch on this pipe with my foot. So I can either reduce the discharge flow, which means if I reduce the energy leaving the pump, I'm reducing the pump's required energy on the suction side. So I have two options to stop cavitation. I can throttle a valve to restrict the flow leaving the pump, or I can get more energy into the pump. Now what am I saying? I'm saying that the operator controls cavitation more than anybody else. And this is like, when do you use the transmission? When do you use the brake pedal? When do you use the petrol pedal? When do you use the steering wheel to control a car? So the driver of a car has various tools, devices at his control to control a car. The operator of the pump has the most control over cavitation. Now, I've shown you that pumps move all over their curves, just as the system changes. We see that the discharge head is a function of the suction head. As the suction head rises, the discharge head rises. As the suction head drops, the discharge head drops. If the suction head drops too much, the pump goes into cavitation. Then I have the option of either bumping up the energy coming into the suction or restricting the flow. Your operators govern whether your pumps are problematic or whether your pumps behave. Most operators are desperately trying to stay awake for 8 hours, looking at their control room screens and hoping that nobody's looking over their shoulder. They have no idea what they're doing. I'm not saying that they're not cheating anybody. As a matter of fact, we've actually taught them that they're doing their job if they can sit there for 8 hours without going to sleep. We taught them that. You sit there, you look at the screen for 8 hours without going to sleep, I'm going to pay you this paycheck. So then we actually taught the operators, sit there and do nothing and collect a paycheck. You cannot just sit behind the steering wheel of your car and just let the car do whatever it wants to do. You've got to actively be engaged. What am I going to do with the steering wheel? What am I going to do with a brake pedal? What am I going to do with a petrol pedal? What am I going to do with the turn signal? What am I going to do with the horn? What am I going to do with the transmission? If an operator is truly operating his pump, let me tell you, and especially if he's operating more than one pump, it is as exciting as any video game that you could play. If the operator is really doing his job, following 12 pumps on a control screen, he will go home wired, not able to go to sleep, like an air traffic controller.